Hello everyone, my name is Catherine and I'm one of the newer faces to the older adult Forever in Motion team, and I will be leading our Forever in Motion Facebook Live class today. So what you will need for our class is you will need stable, sturdy shoes, you will need a exercise tubing or band, you will need your water bottle, a sturdy chair, and today we are going to be using the wall as part of our workout. So grab all those things and let's get started. So always starting off with a nice little march just to get our body moving. We want to increase the blood flow. We want to make sure those muscles and body parts are warm. So we're reducing any chance of injury and promoting some good movement in our bodies. So as we're marching, I want us to remember our beautiful, nice tall posture and our ABCs. So we're starting off standing nice and tall. I imagine I have a string pulling me up. My chin is tucked in. My chest is open. Shoulders are down and back. My abdominals are nice and strong. Activating, so they help support us throughout our workout. And then our tailbone is tucked under. So we have this beautiful, nice, neutral spine. So those are our ABCs: abdominals, tailbone or bum tuck, chin, and chest. So we will refer to those throughout our workout. Let's do a little bit side to side stepping as I go through some other fun topics I always like to talk about before we get moving. When we're exercising, this is your workout. You know your body best. I've only been with you for about 2 minutes now. So take breaks when you need to. Set those shoulders down. If you need to take a water break, have a sip of water at any time. Pause and come back to the workout when you're ready. So stepping side to side, getting our hips moving, and then those arms are swinging. Now, did you catch yourself? Are you swinging with a rounded posture? Or are you remembering those ABCs, setting those shoulders down and back, squeezing those shoulder blades, retracting them, and then swinging from side to side? Big breath in. Already I feel my heart rate elevating or raising a little bit from doing the movement that we're doing. Good. So coming back to a march, let's do our shoulder rolls up and back, squeezing those shoulder blades together, giving a little pinch. And when I pinch my shoulder blades, I aim for a little bit lower or in my middle back, not so up high, but a little bit lower. So that's where I'm aiming for. I'm always looking for a nice, long, beautiful neck, no shoulder shrugging, keeping them down. So today's workout, we're going to be focusing a little bit on our bone health. So we're going to be doing a little bit more low impact activities than we might be used to. Good. All right, so in mentioning bone health, we're going to do a little bit more impact on our body to help build up that bone density or decrease slow down the mineral losses of our bones. So we're going to start off with a stomp. So we're going to be hitting the floor with our foot. Again, ABCs, abdominals, bum, chin, and chest. Hitting the floor with that impact. It might get a little loud with your feet and my feet. Now let's take this stomping and let's take it wide. Good. And let's take it narrow again. Pump those arms. And wide. Looking great. I like to pump my arms, get a little bit more into it, and narrow again. Now can we do something a little brain challenge? If we do wide wide, narrow, narrow, wide, wide, narrow, narrow, wide, narrow, wide, narrow, wide, narrow. Looking good. Working that brain. Now can we do it with the opposite foot leading? All right, let's try with the opposite foot. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Wide, narrow, wide, narrow. We're getting the hang of it. We're getting the hang of it. A few more. Good, and back to a light march. So let's focus on our upper body a little bit, doing some forward front crawl, getting our swimming arms moving, focusing on those arm joints and shoulder joints. I wasn't much of a swimmer growing up. I did all my classes, but swimming is something that would be nice to get back into. If you're a swimming lover, let me know. Where do you swim? What's your favorite crawl? Let's do our backstroke. Hopefully you're not taking any swimming techniques from me. Again, with everything we can modify. We can do a little bit of a smaller arm circle or a bigger one. And then let's come into our breaststroke, so hands coming together, opening those arms out nice and wide and coming together. I like this one for when we're pulling our arms back nice and wide. You can get a little stretch in the chest, opening up the chest. Good. And you can always swim a little lower if that feels better for your shoulders. Great. All right, that is for our warm-up. We're going to focus a little bit on our posture work next, and we're going to find a little space on the wall to do that. So as we're leaning back on the wall, I want to try and maintain contact with the back of my head, my shoulders, and my tailbone. So my feet are maybe about a couple inches away from the wall. I'm standing up nice and tall with that beautiful posture. I'm tucking in my chin, my shoulders are down and back, and my tailbone is tucked to maintain that neutral spine. So my body is all touching the wall, my gaze is forward. Sometimes when we do this, if it's challenging for your head to touch the wall, sometimes I see people looking up to try and touch that head back there, but we don't want that. If it's hard for that head to make contact with the wall, just try your best doing that chin tuck. Shoulders down and back. Then let's turn our palms facing me, back of the hands against the wall. Take a deep breath in. And relax. That might feel a little awkward if we're not quite used to it. But let's try it again, and this time we're going to do a little bit more shoulder retraction, training those posture muscles. So find yourself on the wall, chin, chest, core, little tailbone tuck, or I imagine it as my low back trying to push into the wall. So sometimes that analogy sometimes helps with that low back pushing into the wall. So finding your beautiful wall posture, palms turned forwards towards me. We're going to start with our hands down by the side, and I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together. I'm raising my arms up, maintaining that pinch in my shoulder blades, and then you go to a height that works for you and your shoulder range of motion, and slowly come back down. Option, if your shoulder is sore, maybe stop with one side a little bit lower, but continue all the way up with the side that does not have a restriction. Good. Squeezing and focusing on that pinch between the shoulder blades. Big breath in. Always breathing in our workouts. Good. And relax there. Take a step away from the wall if that feels good to just reset. I know for me, whenever I log into my computer, that's an automatic kind of cue for me to find my beautiful posture. So I challenge you, if you're doing something pretty regularly throughout the day, walking through a door frame or sitting at your computer to log in or to turn on, whatever it is, try and find that beautiful tall posture and see how long you can hold it for until you notice it starts to fail. But adding in those little bits of beautiful posture will go a long way in the long run. So great work. All right, now we're moving on to some strengthening. We're going to grab our tubing. And we're going to start with an upper back squeeze. So level 1, you can grab hold of one length of your tubing. Level 2, to be more challenging, you can grab hold of both tubings. So I'm standing up nice and tall, chin, chest, core, tailbone tuck, bringing my hands to my chest level. Elbows are wide, and I start with my knuckles touching each other. So I'm in this position, and I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, and then slowly relaxing. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, and slowly relaxing. Good. So we like to target a lot of our upper back, right? Our upper back helps us to maintain that beautiful tall posture. Always breathing, core is strong. Modifying if you need to. If this is a bit challenging, give yourself a little bit more slack, so more tubing between those fingers, and pulling. Good. When we're doing our strength training, we are looking for anywhere from 10 to 12 repetitions. And depending on you and depending on the day, this could be a little bit more or less. But we always want you to listen to your body and take breaks as you need to. Good. Let's relax there. All right, we are going to go back to the wall for our chest work, and we're going to be doing some wall push-ups. So if you haven't done this before, don't worry, I'm going to walk you through it. So we're standing close to the front of the wall. Imagine the wall is here in front of me. I'm going to start maybe with a one step away from the wall. I'm going to bring my hands up to chest level, and I'm going to imagine that I'm straight as a board from my head to my toes. So I'm not going to be doing any seal sagging push-ups or any bum back type push-ups. So nice straight spine, nice straight body. So my hands are at chest level, no higher than the shoulders, so at chest level, and I'm going to have my elbows wide. I'm going to lean towards the wall, and then I'm going to use my hands to push myself back. Good. Now to make this more challenging, what we would do is we would take another half step backwards and then lean forward and back. Now I'm going to go do it. Nice strong core. Keep going. And you see we're maintaining that nice, beautiful, straight line. It's hard for me to demonstrate without the wall being right there. All right, very good. Take a break. All right, to switch up our wall push-ups, so a nice wide arm would target more of our chest. This time we're just gonna change up a little bit and we're gonna play with our feet placement. So when we do our second set of wall push-ups, if your feet are more narrow, you might be targeting a little bit more core. If you want to make, or to just see how it feels, you can also make a wide leg push-up and see if that changes anything. So let's go do our second set, about 10-ish repetitions, and see if that foot placement can change anything. And then I'm going to do a couple with a narrow stance with my legs. Good. When I was doing that, my nose was touching the wall. Was anyone else's? All right, so to change things up with that wall push-up, we're gonna play with it a little bit more in a different way. And this time we're gonna fall into that push-up. So to start off with, I would definitely have your feet closer to the wall. And we're gonna have our hands up at chest level. We're going to lean forward, and then our hands are gonna hit the wall, bracing ourselves so our nose doesn't smash into the wall. So let me show you. My hands are up, and I'm leaning forward, and I'm catching myself on the wall. Good. Now to make this more challenging, what we can do is we can take a step back again away from the wall, so there's a little bit more of a distance before we catch ourselves. So trying that, lean forward, and then catching yourself with the wall. Hands at chest level, ready to grab you or catch you. So that little impact of our arms on the wall is to help give us that help with our bone density a little bit. So leaning forward, boom, catching ourselves. Now to make it more challenging, if you want that third level of challenge, you can start with your hands down by your side, leaning forward, and then catching yourself with your hands on the wall. So let's try that. Standing with my hands by my side, leaning forward, and then catching myself. Good. Give it a few more tries. See how you like it. Good. And again, when we're talking about fall prevention and staying on your feet and forever in motion, we want to be able to catch ourselves or react to a fall that comes out of nowhere. So you can always think about that. We're leaning forward, and then that reaction time, we're trying to catch ourselves, as well as having that little bit of impact through our upper body. Because we do get it when we're doing our stomping, but not necessarily on the wall. Good. All right. I think we are going to move on next. How's that sound? So we are going to go back to our chair, and we're going to be doing a seated row. So grab your chair, grab your tubing, and we'll move on with some more strengthening. So taking hold of your band, I always like to make it nice and flat. We're going to bring it around our feet. I have my toes pointing forward so that band doesn't slide up and hit me. My arms are down by my side. I'm sitting up nice and tall, chin, chest, core. And we're going to slide our hands up our thighs, elbows going towards the back wall, slowly sliding forward. Adjusting your grip if you need more of a challenge or more of a resistance. And whenever we're sitting in the chair, we're always at the front edge of the seat. So did you default and go to the back? Or did you come to the front half of your chair? I know you came to the front half of your chair. You've been coming here for a while, doing these workouts, so you know all the things that we're going to say. I'm sure of it. So squeezing those shoulder blades together, chest nice, proud and open, tummy nice and strong. Good. Big breath in. Great. All right, one more time. And relax. All right, putting that tubing to the side. We're going to work our leg strength. So when it comes to doing leg strength, one of my favorites is the sit to stand. So I'm sitting in my chair. My legs are nice and wide. I like to turn my toes out slightly. I'm sitting up nice and proud. I'm going to hinge forward, and if you need to use your hands for help and momentum, feel free to do so. I'm going to lean forward and power up into standing. Nice and proud, just like our ABCs, pulling us up, chin, chest, core, tailbone tuck. Once we have that, we gotta sit back down. So let's push those hips back, bend those knees, and sitting back down in the chair. Again, my arms are here just for balance to help me out. Let's lean forward, power up, push, and sit. If you need to use your hands, that is always an option. If you want more of a challenge, place your hands on your chest and take away those arms so your thighs have to do the work. We want to strengthen those quadriceps, strengthen those legs. Very good, everyone. And if you want more of a challenge, what we can do is we can slowly lower, but I want you to hover on that chair and lightly tap, and then come back up. That makes the thighs have to work extra hard, but you know your body best. You choose the option that works best for you. And if you need to sit down, feel free to sit down. No one's in the room with you. No one knows. We're being kind to ourselves. Let's do 2 more. Nice strong core and always breathing. Good. Whew. Great work, everyone. So we're going to go back to working with their tubing. So we're going to be doing a bicep curl next. So option, you can do this one seated if you'd like, or you can join me in standing. So I like to take one foot and place it underneath my band. I like to stand up nice and tall, chin, chest, core, tailbone tuck. Elbows are close to the side of our body, palms facing up, nice neutral wrists, and we're going to pull the band up and lower, squeezing those shoulder blades back so they're not rounding forward, nice neutral spine. Elbows are close to the side of our body. Good, nice neutral wrists. Excellent. So targeting our biceps are this big front muscle here. Our triceps is the back part of the muscle of the upper arm. And we'll be targeting the triceps next. Great work. How about for this last bicep curl, we do it very slow. So let's do a slow 5 count up and a slow 5 count down. So let's stand in our position, tummy strong. Let's slowly raise our arms. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And take it down slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. I always like to shake things up a little bit with doing things slowly. Just add some variety and spice into things. All right, coming into our tricep work next, and then we're going to make this also a reaction exercise too. So with our tricep work, I'm bringing the band behind my tailbone, and then I'm scooching it up like I'm toweling off it from the shower. So my band is underneath my armpits. I have my elbows close to the side of my body, and I'm going to start off by just pressing forward. So my elbows are close to the side of my body, and I'm pressing. All right, did we remember our ABCs? Standing tall, chin, chest, core, tailbone tuck, doing our pressing. All right, so at any time, this tricep press is our base exercise. If you want to join me for some fun, we're going to add on a little bit more. So I'm going to call out right, left, or both. And as we do that, I want you to step forward as well. So we're going to go right, left, and then with both, we have the option to do a little heel raise or maybe a little jump, just for that low impact. You get to choose a heel raise little jump, depending on what you're feeling. I'm going to do the calf raise or the heel raise. All right, so let's do right, left, both. Good. Now I'm going to call it out so it's not so easy for you to follow along. So with our reaction and our tricep press, let's do left, right, both. Right, right, left, left, both, both, right, left, left, both, right, left, right, both. I know, I'm just trying to imagine everyone laughing at themselves doing this. I did this earlier today with a group and we had such a fun time just laughing at ourselves. So I hope you're all having fun with it as well. All right, so we're done with the tubing for now, so that can just be put away. We're going to do some leg work and standing now. So having your chair in front of you at all times, nice, stable, sturdy, we have it there just in case for balance or whatnot. All right, we're going to stand up nice and tall, that chin, chest, core, tailbone tuck, good. We're going to roll up onto our toes, lifting those heels up off the ground and slowly lower back down. Raising up nice and slow and lowering back down. You can see I'm starting with my hand on the chair just to kind of get used to this feeling, working into it. If I want more of a challenge, I'll take away all my fingers except for one to just give me a little help. And then if I want more of a challenge, I can take my hand away, using my hands for balance. Gonna roll up onto my toes and slowly back down. I think it's more challenging when you're instructing and teaching to try and do this than maybe following along. Just because I'm talking. Great work, everyone. Tummy strong, always breathing, working within your abilities, taking breaks. Good, let's do one more and shake it out. All right, instead of those heel raises, let's try toe raises this time. So I'm holding on to start with, standing proud, tummy, tailbone tuck, and I'm going to lift up my big toes off the ground and slowly lower. Lifting those toes up off the ground and lower. Good. So just strengthening the front part of our shin just to make sure all the leg is strong. I'm going to try it now without holding on, so let's see how it goes. I think this one's definitely, maybe it's easier if we alternate. So let's try that. Let's try lifting those toes and then lifting those heels. Lifting the toes and the heels. Toes, heels, toes, heels. Great work, everyone. One more time each. Good, and relax. Excellent work. Thanks for doing that with me. All right, next we're gonna work our hips a little bit. Now I know last time we were here, we did some hip abduction, but we're gonna try some hip extension this time. So an extension is the motion of our leg going back. All right, so let's set ourselves up for that movement. So we're standing up nice and tall, chin, chest, core, tailbone tuck, beautiful, nice neutral spine. I'm holding on to start with. I'm shifting my weight into my left foot, so my right foot is standing here. I'm gonna press through with that heel so my foot's a little bit flexed. And then when I'm doing this, I'm gonna try and squeeze my bum to help lift my leg and then lower back down. Squeezing my bum to help lift my leg and slowly come back down. Now what I don't wanna see is us lifting that leg and then rounding that back, because we wanna keep that back nice and neutral and not round it. So my upper body from hips up is solid is still, and the only thing moving is my glute, squeezing to pull that leg back. And if your leg does not lift very high, that's okay. We just want that muscle group to activate and to think about working. And then you'll get stronger in no time. Let's do 2 more. Good, and shake it out. So let's try the other side this time. So again, shifting my weight to my right foot, standing up beautifully tall, flexing that left foot, and then I'm squeezing my left bum cheek to help raise that leg. So the focus is squeezing that glute so it's nice and strong and activating. Nice, tall, beautiful posture. Open that chest once you have it. Can we do 2 more? Good work, everyone. I'm gonna have some water, and I encourage you to have some too. All right, so next up, we're going to do a balance exercise. So let's have some fun with it. Standing beside my chair, so I have it beside me at all times, whether or not I need it, it's my little safety net. We're going to start off with our feet heel to toe, all right? If this feels too much, I will encourage you to widen your stance a little bit, but have both your toes facing forward. So I'm heel to toe. I'm standing up nice and tall, chin, chest, core, and I'm going to shift my weight from my back foot, from my back right foot, forward into my front left foot. Good. Shifting back and forward. Good. So this is level 1, just shifting your weight forwards and backwards. And then level 2, to make this more challenging, we're going to, you can always play with your hand placement, but we're going to shift forwards into my left toes, and I'm going to lift my back right heel up off the ground. Holding this, I feel a little, I'm having to do micro corrections to keep my balance. Let's lower that right heel, shifting your weight to your right back foot, and then we're gonna lift up our left toe, and if you're feeling it today, lift up your left foot. Place that left foot back down. Let's rock forward, lifting up your back right heel. My weight's mostly in my front foot, and then shifting down, shifting your weight into your back leg, and then lifting that left leg if it's a good day to try it. Lower back down. Let's do that one more time. Coming forward, lifting that back heel, and then shifting back. Good. Well, you know what we do to one side, we should do to the other. So take that back right leg, bring it forward into your left foot, or in front of your left foot. So same thing, just opposite legs. Starting off with just shifting my body weight forward and back. Good. Focusing on that point across the room. Maybe you can listen to my words, but just focus on a point above your TV maybe. Good. That helps me to say focus if I can focus on one spot. Let's level this up and make it more challenging. Let's shift our weight into the front right foot, lifting up your left heel at the back. Good. Shifting your weight backwards into your left foot, lifting up those front right toes. If it feels good today to do that, and shifting. Making those micro corrections, challenging our balance. because you know what? There's snow outside now, unfortunately. It came back so quick. It came so quick, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's here to stay. So let's work on that balance. So when we're walking outside on those icy sidewalks, hopefully they're not icy and hopefully everyone's shoveling, but we're going to do what we can, and you're in control, and you're doing what you can because you're here working out with us, strengthening your bodies. Good. I think we maybe did 1 or 2 extra on this side, but that's okay. We're working on being nice and strong. All right. There's one more exercise I want to do with the wall, and then we'll move into our stretching. So we've done rock around the clock in these classes before. Imagining that the floor, there's a 12 o'clock, there's a 3 o'clock, a 6, and a 9. And we're going to do this on the wall this time. So I want you to go back to your wall, and I want you to stand in front of it. And I'm going to call out a time. So I'm going to say 12 o'clock. So we're going to start with your right hand. And I want you to take that hand and I want you to swat at the 12 o'clock spot on your imaginary clock on the wall in front of you. So I say 12 o'clock, boom, hit 12. I say 6, 7, 2, etc. And I want you to make a good smack with the wall as if you're trying to swat at a bug. Hopefully there's no bugs in your house in November, but maybe we're just getting ready for it for the summer. So let's go to your wall, and I'm going to call out some numbers. So facing it, and I want you to do number 12. And then 10, 2, very good, just like that. So keep going. I'm going to call out those numbers. Let's do 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6, 8, 11, 12, 9, 3, 2, 7, 6, 5, 12, 1, 3, 6, 9. Okay, that's good enough. Now let's try to the other side, the left side now. So taking your left hand and swatting at the numbers. You ready? Let's do 12, 6, 7, 2, 5, 10, 11, 8, 2, 3, 4, 10, 7, 1. That's a little quick. Good work if you kept up with all of that. Excellent work. All right, now we're done with the standing and the wall and the strengthening. Let's find our chair and do some stretching to wind down this exercise class. All right, I always like to start off my stretching with a nice hamstring stretch. I find most of us are tight here. So let's sit at the front edge of our seat, sitting up nice and tall, tucking that chin in, stretching out one leg. Maybe you need to scooch that heel a little bit forward so those toes are up. I'm going to place both my hands on my bent knee, and I'm going to hinge from my hips. So I maintain that nice, beautiful, straight, neutral spine, and I feel the stretch in the back of my hamstring or in the back of my calf. So depending on where you are more tight and what your toes are doing can change this stretch. So if your toes are more pointed forwards, away from your body, you can hinge further and feel the stretch in your hamstring. If you curl those toes upwards, you might feel more of a stretch in your calf and that lower leg. Good. Let's switch sides. So again, I like to sit up nice and tall, stretch that leg forward, and then hinging at those hips, maintaining that beautiful spine. And every time I take a deep breath when I stretch, I imagine my muscles lengthening. So if these are my muscle fibers, I like to imagine that they're lengthening, and with every breath, I might be able to lengthen them 1 more millimeter. That's what visually I think of, and I think that helps you too, to think of your muscles as muscle fibers. We want to lengthen and to improve that flexibility and mobility. So we're moving easier, we're less stiff. Good. All right, let's open that chest nice and wide. Bring your arms down by your side. Beautiful open chest. If you're wearing a necklace like I am, you want to show off that necklace to everyone. Good. With our chest stretch, you can play with the height of your arms if that feels better for you. Let's take those hands and let's bend those wrists backwards, getting a little bit of our forearm stretch. Big breath in. Good. Let's do our shoulder stretch. So taking your right arm, bringing it across your body. Left hand is grabbing underneath your arm to just help reach that arm a little bit further across your body. So today, what did we do? We did more chest work than maybe we are used to, more tricep work than we're used to. So we're gonna make sure we stretch out those body parts for us today. And if you're feeling a little bit sore tomorrow or the next day, just know that you did some great work today, and do any of these stretches to help you feel a little bit better. Bring that arm across our body, and then that hand underneath, just guiding it along, making sure our shoulder stays down and not coming across our neck. Great work. Good. Let's stretch our triceps. So taking our hand, placing it on the back of our neck, and then I like to say with 2 fingers, try and scooch that hand or that elbow up towards the sky. And if this isn't feeling good, we can always go back to the stretch we just did. Let's switch sides. So the reason why I like the push-ups on the wall, I like that one because if we ever do fall and we're prone or we're tummy down on our tummy on the floor, doing the wall push-ups will help to strengthen our body to push ourselves back up onto our knees, right? Or to help push us back so we can get up into that kneeling position to help power us up into standing. So strengthening our chest is very important to help get us up off the floor if we ever do end up down there. All right, let's take our prayer hands. We're gonna put them, fingers and heel of our hands touching. We're gonna drop those hands down, relaxing those shoulders. I like this one. You might be able to feel the stretch in your forearms. When we did those wall push-ups too, you might find that your wrists are up against the wall and your wrists might not have liked that. So definitely give your wrists some TLC or some attention to stretch them out today. All right, let's take our right hand coming forward, taking your left hand and gently applying pressure back. We're feeling a little stretch on the top part of our forearm now. If holding your arm up here does not feel good, you can always bring it a little bit lower as well. Good. And switching sides, so taking our left hand, right hand, gently applying pressure. And in an ideal world, we would be holding these stretches for up to 30 seconds. I know it's sometimes tough to hold stretches for that long in a group fitness class. So then I encourage you to take any of these stretches that you have done with me today and do them later today. Maybe you want to do them longer than what I'm holding them for, and I welcome you to do so. Stretching every day is going to help our bodies feel good, maybe less stiff. So I encourage that. Very good. Shake those out. Let's do some wrist circles each way. Good. All right, this time we're gonna take a big sit back in our chair. Bring your legs forward, and we'll do some ankle rotations. And the opposite way as well. Good, let's do some pointing and flexing, pointing and flexing. Good, can we work that brain a little bit and do one flex, one point, and alternate. So they're doing different things. Good. Drop that down. Let's do a stretch for our hip flexor. So my chair has arms, but I encourage you to use a chair that does not have arms because it might feel a little bit better. But I'm turning to the side. My left bum cheek is on the chair. My right bum cheek is hanging off. I'm reaching those right legs, that right toe back. I'm sitting up nice and tall. I like to hold on to my chair for support. And then I have my back right leg and I'm tucking it under. So I feel that stretch in my hip flexor. You might feel it more so in your quadricep, and that's fine too. And then if you want a little bit more, you can extend your right hand straight overhead. Big breath in again. Drop that arm down, knees together, and changing sides. So my right bum cheek is on the chair, my left one's hanging off, reaching those left toes back, sitting up nice and tall, and then tucking that hip under so I feel that stretch in my hip flexor. That hip flexor is that muscle that attaches from your hip onto your femur. If you were to put your hand in your front pocket of your pants, that would be hopefully where you're feeling the stretch. But again, if you feel it a little bit lower into your quadricep, that's all right too. If you have not already, reach that hand up, big breath in. Drop that hand, knees together, and turn to me. All right, well that is it for our class today. I encourage you to do any extra stretching that your body needs and drink lots of water and stay hydrated. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you later. Bye.